It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Hey, welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast for another episode of your Aussie real estate. Yes, breaking down for you the Australian property market as we have been doing all year. Another weekend is here, which means, yes, it's a busy Saturday. Lots of auctions taking place right around the country. It is a Saturday, November the 22nd. Now, I want you to spare a thought for a woman who was reported yesterday on PropTrack saying that she thought she had won a $3.5 million home. This is in Adrian Patelli's The Block Lottery. Now, she's been devastated after discovering she was legally ineligible. South Australian resident Donna was originally announced as the winner of Maddie and Charlotte's 2024 Phillip Island home, only to be told days later that the prize must be redrawn due to SA lottery laws. Patelli criticised the regulations, saying his team must follow them, and is now considering what he can do for the disappointed winner. Well, Adrian Patelli is a billionaire. We know this is a lottery problem around regulations. It's not an Adrian Patelli problem per se, but Donna, after thinking she had won this $3.5 million home, would have been jumping out of her skin. I mean, put yourself in her place. As it was reported yesterday, she was told days later, the excitement of $3.5 million in a home, I mean, that just absolutely percolated in her brain and lasted for days. Of course it did. So I'm sure that Adrian Patelli will step in and do the right thing. What do you think should happen? Of course, you can voice your opinion with our voice message link. You will find that below in the show notes. Or if you'd like to send us an email to myrealestatepodcast@gmail.com, we would love to hear your thoughts on this. Now, good morning to Lizzie and Sean. You both live in Sydney, both working full-time, doing everything right, you say. This is with regard to saving for a deposit, but just can't get there. You say even moving into a regional area feels out of reach, and every time you think you're getting ahead, prices jump again, and renting feels at this moment in time a little like it's going to be a permanent fixture in your lives. You say that you listen to the podcast religiously hoping for answers, insights or something, but lately the episodes have left you with the feeling, what's the point? We're chasing something that keeps running away. And you say that you feel disillusioned and wonder if home ownership was ever meant for you in the first place. Well, there's a bit to unpack there, but first let's welcome in Anthony Landau, the Managing Director of Equilibria Finance. Good morning to you, Anthony. Welcome back to the Real Estate Breakfast, and they are not alone. Sean and Lizzie, there's many people like them, unfortunately.
Yeah, good morning. Great to be here on this Saturday morning. And look, that is not an uncommon story. We hear that story a lot. The guidance we give to our clients is to firstly be patient. Secondly, really understand what you can afford and what you need to do to get there, whether it's how much you can borrow or what sort of deposit you need. So hang in there. The opportunity will come.
That is really good advice, Lizzie and Sean, because you are saving. Keep going. Don't stop now. There will be other first-time buyers listening going, yeah, we're in the same boat. Keep going. Something will break. The dam will break at some point for you. It might be that you get a higher paying job. It might be that somebody comes in and says, look, I'm going to help you. Whatever, don't give up just yet. Now, residential real estate is clearly Australia's largest asset class. Do you think that the great Australian dream of property ownership still holds strong in today's market, Anthony, with people struggling, just like Lizzie and Sean?
Yeah, it's an interesting question. I think fundamentally the answer is yes. I think fundamentally Australians want to own their own home. The way they're doing that, the way they're approaching that is changing, no doubt about it. But it's still within reach. But it's certainly still part of our culture and our ambition is to have that home ownership. We've seen a 6.5% increase in the total value of residential real estate. It's now worth $11.4 trillion. That's 3 times bigger than listed stocks and 2.5 times bigger than super. So it's a massive asset class. And it's 55% of our household wealth. There you go, Craig. Really, really important part of Australia's wealth.
Yeah, I was just going to mention that 11.4 trillion. That is a staggering amount and more than double the total held in superannuation. Wow. Now let's look at the dust. The dust is settling somewhat this year. What do you think are the key forces that you've seen influencing demand across the property market in 2025?
The main things influencing demand have been and continue to be will be our population growth. Obviously, there's been a lot of migration over the last couple of years. While that's slowing, that is still putting some stress and strain on demand, particularly in the capital cities. Another thing influencing demand is rental pressure. Rents are still high. Vacancy rates are still low. That's now making some people look at purchasing a property as an alternate to rentals. I think the lowering of the interest rates, the settling around economic sentiment, around inflation, rental pressures is going to start seeing a little bit of an uplift in demand.
And it is our Saturday morning. We are talking to Anthony Landau, our mortgage expert. When we come back, we're going to pose the question around first home buyers with Anthony and what are some of the trends. We'll do that after this.
From the emotion of property, the economic inflation, managing your expectations, lack of stock, price growth, construction appetite, days on the market. Stay informed with us and know your property.
Let's catch up with Emmanuel Marius, who is in Hobart. Things have changed rapidly over the last 5 years, just in terms of the way that people have got to be educated. Government incentives. There have been a number of changes along the way over the last 5 years. People, for whatever reason, they can be sort of forgetful in this area. Is that something that you find, particularly with the education of mortgage money, borrowing, etc.? It's continually evolving.
Yeah, absolutely. I think education's a big core of our business. We always say it, we're an education company that specialises in financial services. As you know, you don't finish school knowing how to buy a house. You just get taught how to do 1 + 1, see you later, off to the real world. So our job is to obviously educate borrowers what they can and can't do. And that's a very big key component, especially with first home buyers, because generally speaking, a lot of first home buyers would be seeking advice from mum and dad or family members, and they're providing them with some guidance. But what they don't realise, the guidance that mum and dad might be giving you might have been relevant when they bought a house, but might not be relevant today.
You're listening to the Saturday Property Market Update.
It is a Saturday morning. Anthony Landau is here talking property with me. And Anthony, what's driving, do you think, or constraining the number of homes coming onto the market in 2025? Just before the break, you were saying that, there is this lack of stock at the moment. Vendors, for whatever reason, just not really at the moment prepared to list.
I guess the main things, and we've talked about it before, that are influencing supply side are the construction challenges around the costs of materials, the labour shortages, getting projects up and down off the ground. Supply shortage is a chronic issue in Australia. There's no silver bullet. A lot of the things we're seeing that are bringing more demand to the market, government policy, lowering of interest rates, we just physically can't keep up with the supply. So supply is still remaining a major challenge in the market. Probably an area we're seeing a bit of an easing in supply is inner city units. We are seeing some large-scale unit developments that are going up, particularly Sydney and Melbourne. That is helping some price points for first home buyers and investors. Otherwise, supply remains a real challenge.
Now, let's have a look at those first home buyers. What trends at the moment are you seeing among those first time home buyers this year? And What is motivating them? What's holding them back perhaps in some cases? And that email that we got, that's a point in case, but you've got your own internal stuff. You're dealing with these first home buyers all the time, and in many ways you are that grief counsellor offering advice.
Lizzie and Sean's story is a classic story at the moment, and you can see the sentiment coming through. We're struggling to save for a deposit and affordability remains a challenge. And to be frank, they're the main challenges first home buyers are facing. My sense is that some more borrowing capacity to get into the market. So I think this time of first home buyers sitting back with that affordability and deposit challenge, no, it's not going away, but I think there is a little bit of sunshine on the horizon for first home buyers.
You know, we've been doing this for a number of years now, Anthony. Go back a few years ago, we're probably saying the same thing when it comes to first home buyers. What would be really nice, as far as first home buyers are concerned, is seeing some of the wage growth. That would make a little bit of a difference. In fact, in some people's cases, a massive difference.
Yeah, wages growth is sitting well and truly behind housing market growth. Wages growth might be 3 to 4%. We've seen some markets grow, Perth, Adelaide, Brisbane, 15, 20, 25% within 12-month periods. So wages growth is just not keeping up with growth in the housing market, and that creates more challenges around affordability and what people are able to do.
I wonder what we'll be saying about those first home buyers in 3 years from now. I'm pretty much the same thing, I think.
It's not getting any easier, and I think supply is the big elephant in the room. Until we fix up the supply, until that actually catches up to this ongoing demand, then it's going to remain a challenge. While ever government policy is increasing migration, while ever the rental market's so tight and these factors are creating more demand, supply remains a challenge, which keeps driving up the prices.
All right, we'll leave it there, wrap it up on our Saturday morning. Enjoy your weekend and enjoy the surf. Gee, tell you what I was watching the other day. This AI, you don't know whether it's true or not. This is the problem. Your eyes are saying, is that a real great white shark attack that was posted online where somebody got eaten and somebody was filming it from the rocks? Or not? You know, so many of these shark attacks you're seeing, and you just wonder if it's real.
Yeah, look, probably not the best thing to be talking about when the beach is beckoning, but we tend not to think about those things when we're out the surf. But yeah, that AI is pretty incredible.
Explore new property destinations where you could live with exclusive interviews covering real estate news and market insights.
How long did it take your reno from beginning to end to complete this project?
If you looked at it from the time that we had the original idea and through the design process, all the approvals, through the construction, you're looking at probably just over 2 years to actually get that project finished, and probably 6 months of that is just tied up with red tape for the design process, the council approvals.
You built this with forever in mind, you know, not just a resale. But however, Michael, the twist here is you're not going to live in it forever. You've decided to sell it.
No, that's right. No, it's crazy as it sounds. We, as a family of 5, we thought we would build this place high on the hill and then we'd be able to pass it on from generation to generation. So we certainly made sure that no stone was left unturned in the construction. First walk through, you wouldn't actually know we're in the place, but at some point we just decided to pass it on to another family because basically I couldn't be bothered moving.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.